Good morning, Year 9. This short video is going to tell you how to use Scribble maps, which we need to do for Task 3 of our Australian continent unit. So firstly, we need to go to Scribble maps, and we can do that by simply clicking on the link in the Task 3 website. So I'll just click on the link here, and that will take me to Scribble maps. Now, if that didn't take me to Scribble maps, or if I wasn't on the website, we could just go into Google and type in scribblemaps.com. So once we've got to this point, we need to click on Create Map. And as you know, we are creating a map of Australia. So I'm just going to get out of this. So we will type in Australia, click on Australia, and this is taking us to Australia. Now this is a little bit too big, so we need to make it a bit smaller. So I'll click on this minus to reduce it, and that's better. Now we can see the whole of Australia. So I'll just show you some of the features that we can use in Scribble Maps. One of the main features we can use is to scribble on the map, and we do this by clicking on this button, the S button, and this literally lets us scribble on the map. And if we don't like what we've drawn, we go to the eraser button, click on it, click on what we've drawn and say yes, we want to delete it. Another thing that we can do is draw straight lines. So we click on the straight line button, and then we can draw some straight lines, which we might need to do in the future if we were looking at latitude and longitude. And then I'm going to erase that, so I'll just click on erase. Yes, erase. If we wanted to change the color of what we were drawing, we would click on this button and choose whatever color we'd like to use. So I'm going to choose blue, and then I'll scribble again or draw again using this color. Now another important feature that we're going to need to use is placing a marker. So if I go back to the task, the first thing we need to do is identify the most northerly point of the Australian mainland. So I'll go to my map, and what I need to do is mark the most northerly point. So I'll do that by placing a marker. And you can be a little bit creative with the markers. So you can mark them using flags or perhaps places. And for this one, I might choose geology locations. And I might choose this marker to mark the most northerly point of Australia. But it's up to you as to what you like to choose. I'd like you to be creative. So, where's the most northerly point of Australia? Well, we think it's here. And then what you need to do is you need to label it. Now, I'd like you to label it with the correct title. But for this example, I'm just going to call it Smithtown. So I'm going to say the most northerly point of Australia is Smithtown. And I'll label it as northerly point of Australia. And you can actually have a look at the latitude and longitude here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Save. So now I've marked my map with the most northerly point. And that's what you need to do for the rest of the questions, the most southerly, westerly and easterly point. Now to mark Australia's 3 time zones, you'll be using your scribble or your line marker. And to mark the capital cities, you can also use place markers, or if you would like to, you can actually use text. So I'd like you to mark all the capital cities of Australia's states and territories. Now I'm going to do an example for you, but I'm not going to do a correct one because I want you to identify them yourself. So I'm just going to make one up, and I'm going to say that there's a capital city over here, and I'm going to call it Springtown. And I'm going to say that this is the capital of Western Australia. And I'm going to save it. So that's another way of marking capital cities. You could use a place marker or you could use text. Now I'll just go back to the task. So once we have completed tasks A to F, I then need you to save your map. So I'll go back to the map, and what you need to do is you need to click on Menu, and then you need to click on Save Map. Now, unfortunately, because this is a free site, we can't make the map private. But what we can do is we can give it a password so that only those with a password are able to access it. So I'm going to call my map Australia Annotated Map, Miss Crouch. And I'm going to give it a password, and you could just use a simple password. So my password is going to be map, and my description is going to be an annotated map of Australia. And then I will simply click on Save Map. And I'd like you to save it as an image. So I'd like you to click on Save Image, and then I'd like you to click on Generate. Now, the reason I'd like you to save it as an image is so that we can then print off the maps and we can go through them in class. So the map is just generating now, and now I will click on Download, and here is my map. There it is. Now, obviously your map is going to look a little bit different because it will show Tasmania and it will have all the tasks completed. Now, once you've completed it, I'd like you to print it, so that, as I said, we can go through it in class. Now, one last thing I'd like to show you is if you are stuck at all, you can click on this question mark button, and that will give you an idea of all the different features that you can use, including adding pictures or videos or rectangles or circles or placing flight lines if you like. So I hope that you found that Scribble Maps is an interesting tool. We are going to be using it for a number of activities this year, so I would like you to spend some time familiarising yourself with the use of the site. Thank you very much for listening to this video, and if you have any questions, you know my email. Otherwise, enjoy using Scribble Maps. Thank you.